I would sit back and say, they can't stop him because he's a beast. You can't get him on the ground. In the Texas game, they just couldn't tackle CeeDee Lamb. I'd never seen anything quite like it, and I never thought that. I would sit back and say, they can't stop him because he's a beast. You can't get him on the ground. In the Texas game, they just couldn't tackle CeeDee Lamb. I'd never seen anything quite like it, and I never thought that. I would sit back and say, they can't stop him because he's a beast. You can't get him on the ground. In the Texas game, they just couldn't tackle CeeDee Lamb. I'd never seen anything quite like it, and I never thought that. Games, I would sit back and say, they can't stop him because he's a beast. You can't get him on the ground. In the Texas game, they just couldn't tackle CeeDee Lamb. I'd never seen anything quite like it, and I never thought that.
The story of American football is just as much a Catholic story as it is an American one. The game first began to capture the national imagination in the early 20th century when a band of Catholic students became the first team to play nationally. They were in the heart of the Midwest, where the Ku Klux Klan still fomented strong anti-Catholic sentiment. Regional schools refused to play against the team since many of the players were Irish Catholic immigrants. Local racists viewed them as an inferior race of drunken brawlers and dismissed them as the Fighting Irish. But that team would soon transform the insults into fame and glory. They made the Fighting Irish their official name and traveled across the nation to play any team that would meet their challenge. Of course, this was the team from the Catholic University of Notre Dame. But the central role of Catholicism in the story of football didn't stop with them. Catholic immigrants across the nation became football fans. They saw in the story of the Fighting Irish their own fight to overcome prejudice and flourish in America. By the mid-20th century, some of the greatest football teams were from Catholic schools like Georgetown, Holy Cross, and Fordham. On the football field, the children of an Anglo-Protestant cultural establishment came face-to-face with Irish, Italian, and Polish Catholic immigrants who proved themselves worthy opponents, breaking down barriers of ethnic and religious bigotry. It was a chance for them to meet as equals, to play fair, and to achieve victory or accept defeat with grace. Just as football grew into a nationwide phenomenon, it became emblematic of the growing strength of the Catholic community in America. And not just the Catholic community, but any group of outsiders willing to embrace what it means to be an American. That's why football is now an essential part of what makes America great. The Catholic philosopher Father James Shaw wrote that watching sports like football is the closest the average man comes to the contemplation of eternal things. The game is one of the only places left where we still find cheating to be cheating. We find glory in what is earned. We find corruption and repentance, honor and competence, vanity and genuine humility. It all started with small, marginalized communities of Catholic immigrants listening in on their radios as young Catholic men proved their mettle on the football field and carved out a space for Catholics in mainstream society. Today, football is central to the American story, and a proud reminder to Catholics that the American story is our story.
I saw something really strange on Twitter, and I went to trace it down, and found the WWMT3 website right here. I'm going to bring it up and actually reload the page live so you guys can see this is the live website. I'm going up here to watch. This is a West Michigan news station that's just reporting on a story. Their little page is going to come up here, and I'm going to go to the latest news broadcast. It's coming up automatically right now. I imagine this video is going to disappear. And we're going to go to, oh no, wait, that's not the right video. I want the latest news broadcast right there. And then we're going to go to 30 minutes in here.
This virus.
Nope, too far.
As a sign of respect,
Okay, so they're doing a story about the Pope. I'm going to make it full screen for you guys. And how they're ringing the bells for the coronavirus victims. And then watch this right here, coming up right after this. Giving a statement. Pope walks up to the window. Look right back here. Something. Do you see that little black thing come up? And then watch. Gives his blessing and poof, he's gone. Did you see that? Okay, let me show you this right here. I took a screen capture of it so we can slow it down and watch that last little bit here. All right, so let's go back to where he first appears. Right there. I'm going to go frame by frame here. You can see they're opening the door. There's his head coming up. He's going up on the steps or whatever they have behind there. Steps up a second one. And then see that right there? This little black thing that's whatever that is happening behind him kind of comes out right there. And then he kind of moves in front of it a little bit. And then he gives his blessing. Gives his blessing. And he turns around to go. I'm going to go one frame at a time here. Lets his hand off the window. Slowly moves away. Did you see that? Let me do it again. And okay, I want to show you something. So, first frame right there. So he's there. Next frame, he's at 50% opacity. And then the next frame, click, he's gone. I don't know if you guys can see this because of the video bit rate that I stream at, but there's still the outline, like darker than the rest of the room around it. There's still this black spot where he used to, whatever it was that we were looking at, where that used to occupy the space. And then a couple more frames and it blends in and then they mix the shot. I don't think for a second that this news agency is pulling a CGI prank on us. I've said many times that the world is a much stranger place than I think most of us realize. And of course we have all this Q stuff going on and the child pedophilia stuff, and it all supposedly ties into the Vatican. Was that a hologram? Is he dead? Is that a security thing so he doesn't get shot in the window and they've just been using this technology and they turned it off too soon? I don't know. But folks, that is very, very strange. I'm Sam I Am. We'll catch you on next video.
going home, I think. You know, that might have been scary, and it felt talk to us about what that experience was like, finding out so early on that you guys tested positive.
Welcome back, everybody. The world was stunned when singer-songwriter, actress, and just our pal, Rita Wilson, announced back in March that she and her husband, Tom Hanks, tested positive for coronavirus. Well, we're so grateful. They are both recovered. Rita is paying it forward in a fun way.
She sure is. Rita and hip-hop icons, Naughty by Nature, they released a remix of the 1992 hit song, Hip Hip Hooray! We all know it. And all the net profits of the records are going to be donated to the Music Cares Foundation COVID-19 Relief Fund. Hi, Rita.
Hi, Rita.
Hi, Jena. Hi, Hoda. How are you?
Okay, we're going to get to that music in a minute because you were on point. I mean, we watched you sing every single word. But right now, I'm just so happy to see you healthy and strong. Like, tell us how you're feeling.
I feel great. I'm back to normal. We are still practicing social distancing because we want to set a good example and also just to calm any fears that anybody would have if they were to ever come in contact with us.
Mm-hmm. So you were in Australia. You weren't even in your own home. I think, that might have been scary in itself. Talk to us about what that experience was like, finding out so early on that you guys tested positive.
It was scary. I had said to Tom earlier that I used to, until you have a health crisis, which I did 5 years ago, and Hoda knows, we both share the disease and recovery of being breast cancer survivors. You think that you hear stories and you think that, that happens to someone out there. And I had said to Tom, after having had cancer, that I don't think that things happen to other people. They can happen to you too. So I had mentioned that to him. And I said, we could get coronavirus. There's nothing to say that we shouldn't get it. And 2 days later, we were diagnosed positive.
You had an extraordinary post, a beautiful post on Instagram that I loved. You were posting after you'd been cancer-free for 5 years, and you wrote this: "Please take a moment today to acknowledge the amazing creation your bodies are and to thank it for doing so much." I loved that.
Thank you. I thank God every day, and I thank for my health, and also our human spirit is also amazing, as well as our bodies, and just very thankful. I'm also thankful for the amazing healthcare workers and the doctors that are getting us through all of this.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back to that collaboration with Naughty by Nature. You just posted something, and it happened when you were going quarantine stir crazy, I think, as you put it. But some people of us can relate to just singing the old songs. But you could rap this every word to precision. Talk to us about what happened.
Well, when I was in quarantine and starting to feel better, I thought to myself, I had learned Hip Hop Hooray by Naughty by Nature for a movie that I did called Boy Genius. And I wondered if I still remembered it because my brain was a little foggy. And so I thought, let me see if I still remember it. And I did go in and, much to my surprise, could remember most of it. So I thought maybe I would just post it as a way to let people know that they could smile and that I was doing okay.
Well,
and that was how I did it. But it took me a month to learn that song. It's not like I'm some, person who can rap all the time. You can donate at the Naughty by Nature page on YouTube or mine, but also know that if you just stream the song, streaming equals donation.
Oh, I'm streaming it right now then.
We love it.
All day.
And we also just want to point out, Rita, we love your kitchen. We saw it on SNL. It was fine. Okay?
Thank you.
It was awful.
It's a little messy. I was like, can't you straighten it up a little bit more?
All right, Rita, we love you.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after this.
So you were in Australia. You weren't even in your own home. I think, you know, that might have been scary, and it felt talk to us about what that experience was like, finding out so early on that you guys tested positive.
In the context of some sort of a protocol, where you just don't, in the context of some sort of a protocol, where you just don't, in the context of some sort of a protocol, where you just don't.
Alexa, did the government release the coronavirus?
According to Event 201, the government planned this event, created the virus, and had a simulation of how the countries would react. This simulation occurred October 18th, 2019. The government released the virus among the population and has lost control of the outbreak.
Alexa, did the government release the coronavirus?
According to Event 201, the government planned this event, created the virus, and had a simulation of how the countries would react. This simulation occurred October 18th, 2019. The government released the virus among the population and has lost control of the outbreak.